It's the end of day 2. I'm your host, CJitsallGewd, and thank you so much for hanging out today, everyone that's left. We do have a great run to end day 2 for y'all. We're at $1,848, but I think we can get it a little higher. I believe in all of you. We have, coming up next, we have Jack 3 All Missions by Outrageous Josh. It's going to be 3 hours of comfy, cozy, Jack, Josh, CJ, all that good stuff. So we are actually ready to go. We took that extra time to make sure that we were set up. We're going to take a quick pause for the cause. We're going to hear from the charity. We're going to hear from our friends. And when we come back, we'll be live with Jack 3 All Missions by Outrageous Josh. Stay tuned.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
We have to get out of here now. She's right. This place is possessed.
I tell you what we witnessed here is a hallucination.
Come on, Big Jack. Saw it with your own eyes.
Well, then I don't believe my own eyes. Things like this.
We help people in a way that they don't have to move very long distances to the health center. We're picking up the very sick patients, emergency cases, then the priority, and then the rest of the patients.
Nipata adini rona pima la ni malaria. Bokaranga na dalo malaria, bot nana paracetamol, bot nana lo goko, ampicillin syrup.
When you're saving one life and someone comes and testifies, you did this for me, it's fulfilling, it's a really good feeling.
All right, folks, here we are. It is the final run of day 2 of SDAT 2023, and coming to you live from the wastelands of Jack 3 is Outrageous Josh. How you doing, bud?
Fantastic, CJ. How are you? Welcome.
Oh, I'm living the dream.
Fantastic. We love to hear it. You love to hear it. Gamers, welcome to Jack 3 All Missions. We're just gonna get started. All right, we're just gonna do it. Well, This is a category where you must complete every single mainline mission in the game, which means it gets quite long. But I'm gonna make sure we go mission by mission and let you know what the hell is happening. It's gonna be a fun time. With that being said, I guess I'll count us off here. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So, first thing of note here, I have the voices on, which means you're gonna hear people talk, which is not normal for the run. I just thought it would be more marathon fun if we had the voices on. The reason why we have them off is because, well, in short, it saves time. You see this communicator following behind me here. This little guy doesn't talk at certain points. Well, when the voices are off, he doesn't talk at all, which ends up saving time because you get to some end triggers faster. It's weird, very strange. Anyway, we just did the training course where we just got a bunch of orbs, and now we've acquired our first gun, scatter gun, and it's basically a shotgun. It kills things at close range. Not much else. We just do a little blasting. In this mission, we will get the blaster mod. There are a total of 12 guns in the game, and we're already starting off basically getting our first 2. Oh, he's not dead. You see, I just turned into Dark Jack, something that was introduced at the beginning of Jak 2, where Jack just kind of goes sicko mode and kills everybody in sight. Fun times. Okay, so now we've got our blaster mod and our scattergun here, and we're just gonna switch between the two so we can start moving. And I'm gonna grab some of these orbs here. Now this is for the bid war that we've got going on here. Essentially, you can donate for big head mode or small head mode, and I will swap between the two, depending on what's in the lead. And I think right now big head mode is in the lead, correct?
Yeah, big head mode in the lead with 15 doll hairs to 0.
Beautiful.
So very affordable. If you wanna swing the balance of power, you can do so for the low price of $16.
So close.
Sounds great. Sadly, big head mode got in the way of that Kangarat there. That's just straight copium. That was just a skill issue. Just don't mind me. I will do a little bit of coping from now and then. So yeah, we need to feed this leaper 6 Kangarats to beat this mission. Got the first 3 down. You'll see sometimes Jak 3 has a sort of recurring theme where if you're not looking at it, it doesn't exist. And so this Kangarat doesn't see me because I don't see him. And I basically catch him before he even realizes I'm there. Once again, yeah, very recurring theme. I'm gonna grab a lot of these orbs here that I wouldn't normally grab. I need 6 extra just to be able to switch between big and small head mode. And we'll also get 5 more on top of that for a secret later called the turbojet port. But yeah, again, more on that later.
Get him! Get him!
There's Kangarat number 5.
With big head mode on, we look like Beautiful Joe.
Yeah, I kind of do, huh?
Here's the last one! We got them all!
All right.
Anybody else hungry?
That's all 6. Then we head to the satellite, where it's just RNG hell. You see, if we hit 2 buttons there with 1 input, that's called a double, and we get 6 points out of that, where normally the buttons would just be worth 1. So the more doubles, the faster we get out of here. And I've got 4 already, which is actually fantastic. If we can get some more. Looks like 4 is our limit. That's fine. A little better than average, actually. Our average is about 3.5. So we'll take that. We'll take that. And yeah, I mean, it's just tentacles and button pressing. What more could you want, right? Or no, I'm just a guy playing Jak 3. So funny thing about this, this is like the fast phase of Satellite, where the buttons start approaching a little quicker. And how I can tell I did pretty good is if I finish before slow phase, which has just started. I was only one off from you know, being again in slow phase or before slow phase, so not bad. Not bad. Already getting our leaper here because he moves faster than we do. Grab another one of these orbs and head to the next mission where we learn to drive. Because we haven't learned how to drive apparently from Jak 1 and 2. We have to learn again, that's fine. Again, I'm gonna grab another one of these orbs here.
So we were exiled, right? That's like the story.
Yeah.
Like, metalheads have taken over the city, but I destroyed Core. The strongest metalheads must have survived. Right?
That was literally a perfect recreation of the entire Jak 3 story. Honestly. Kudos.
Yeah, thank you. And here's the dad from Brave.
Yeah, that was Cleaver. He's basically the car master. He parks all the cars for us when we leave them not parked in the garage. He just does it for us because he's a very kind man. Not really. He's not a kind dude. So yeah, this is just, you know, the game's just teaching us how to do things. How to jump, how to go forward, how to turn and skid and all the good stuff. And now that we've finished learning how to drive, we will drive over to our first race, where I wouldn't say this is a very fair race because, well, we know shortcuts and they don't. So it sucks to suck, you know?
Here we go.
Got him.
And we're our first place after the first 3 seconds, and we will never look back. The thing about if you've ever played Jak X, there's this little thing called rubber banding that Jak X is just known for, really. Yeah, it doesn't really exist here because I can just kind of do that, which like skips like half the course or half the lap, and then I can just yeah, I'll never see them again until I lap them later on. What times? Generally, you're looking at about a 220, 225-ish in that range for these races. You know, we'll see which side of the spectrum I'm closer to. But yeah, that's the gist of this. Nothing really too crazy. We get to do that shortcut 3 times. Hopefully all 3 of us.
Can I jump in? We had 2 donations coming.
Absolutely.
We got a $5 donation from JR, my very good friend JR, that says, "Hype for Jackie boy." And we have a donation from Barg034 that says 2-head mode, but they did not select a polar incentive. So
that would be, I guess that'd be small head. But,
it would if it did count.
It would if it counted. Barg. Barg.
I'm sorry, Barg.
Follow the rules. Yeah. Ironically, Barg went a little 2-head mode.
You are what you ask. You used me for land development. That wasn't very nice.
Wow, it's so weird hearing them talk. I'm not used to I'm not used to hearing that. Oh, yep. Well, it was closer to 220, and then I flipped on my head. So, it is what it is.
Enjoy it for now.
Instead of driving back to the garage, we just dive in the water because that brings us back faster. So, I mean, if you need to get somewhere quickly, just take a dip in the water. Surely you'll make it back. Breaking news. Outrageous Josh hears voices for the first time. Welcome. That's a good one. Welcome to Artifacts 1. Well, this is, you just collect artifacts. It's nothing that crazy here. I'm more sort of learning how to drive things. And because we're in a car called the Tough Puppy, this car does no attacking back. We just kind of get attacked, and we were just kind of sitting here, you know, and praying we don't get rammed into plenty of walls. We do have some sort of defense, even though we can't shoot back. We do have a little bit of defense, not only in our wits and dodging the other marauders, but we can use camera tricks, like turning the camera around. If you kind of check the mini map here, another guy is spawning, but if I turn the camera around, you'll see he disappeared. And if you do this at specific times, while they're in specific positions, you can basically constantly get them to deload. I guess that wasn't very favorable there. I don't think I could have gotten any of those guys to deload. They got a little too close too fast, but that's the idea. That's really our only defense during this mission. Camera tricks.
Speaking of tricks, can I jump in with a donation?
Absolutely.
We have $20 from Two Head Mode. That did go to Small Head Mode.
Woo!
So
All
there
right.
you go. Bark, some kind soul bailed you out.
Ready to switch?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, switcheroo. Small head mode it is. And
If you would like to see the balance of power shift, you can take the lead with only $5.
5 buckaroos.
That's a $5 footlong there, cowpoke.
Do those even exist anymore? Are they like $7 footlongs now?
Oh, you know what? With inflation, do you have a favorite $8 Subway sandwich?
I've only ever had one, and it's the Boss, the meatball one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's good. That one's real good.
Have you only ever had one sandwich from Subway, or you've only been to Subway one time?
The first one.
Okay.
I'm a simple man, CJ.
You see meatballs.
I see meatballs. I get meatballs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, listen. Why? A man knows what he likes. Why argue with him?
On your monk, get set, ride!
Oh, we have officially started the next mission, the Leaper Race, where we are racing monks on big lizards. This game gets just wackier by the mission. I think one of them actually died. I don't know how that happened, but there's only 3 other people I'm racing against, and I'm pretty sure there was 4 at the start. But well, rip that guy. Rip.
He died of heart disease.
Yeah, let's go with that. It totally wasn't, you know, the other racers just ramming into him violently. Let's go with heart disease.
He got down warped, you know, the God Pixel.
Yeah. This mission's a little unforgiving at times. If you somehow just like walk past the ring, before you realize that you've walked past the ring, it'll just mission fail you like real fast. So don't, like, you know, don't go too far. Yeah, you'll get destroyed pretty fast. No forgiveness on this one.
I guess in hindsight, I didn't realize how much of the beginning of the game is racing oriented.
Yeah, it's a pretty big part of things. But you know, that's Jak 3. I like to think of Jak 3 as just like minigame after minigame. It's just a compilation of minigames, and I've never been able to unsee it that way. But it's fun. I like
Jack
minigames.
2 definitely steered all the way into the guns thing,
Yeah.
and the first one is probably like the purest platformer.
Yep. For sure.
Dare I say, the only platformer?
Yeah. I'd agree with you there. There's like very few platforming sections in this game, and maybe a few more in Jack 2, but yeah, it just gets less and less as time goes on.
Like the first mission is like Jack 1.5, and then it's just downhill from there.
And then just racing. But now we're back to our Jack 2 bag, as the kids might say, where we gotta shoot things. We gotta shoot to kill. We got 4 big old dinos with cannons on their backs, who are menacing and really just running around aimlessly, and we gotta take them out. Not sure what the reason is for the lore. Oh, he's moving. He's moving. Oh, that's what happens if you get hit. And he died. I thought he was gonna die a little earlier than that, but he must have been on like 1 HP or something. That was weird. He just died while I was flung in the air. But yeah, it gets a little creepy, a little scary. Got what I was saying while I was flung, but what were you saying?
My biggest grievance with this part of the game is that the ground is a jagged polygon.
Yeah.
It is not flat. There's no part of this desert which is flat. Even if the ground looks level or like a hill, it's not. It's like someone put a bunch of crap under a rug.
That makes sense to me. I mean, it's tough to drive.
This is the part of the game which is Turok.
Yes, it is. Okay. Well, this one kind of fakes you out a little. He falls and acts like he's dead, but he just gets back up and we start shooting him again. And now he's actually dead.
It's Jurassic Park 7, but with a twist.
Yeah.
The car has guns.
The car has guns this time. All right. Now instead of I guess there's no water to fall in this time to get back to the garage. So yeah, we'll just drive back and head to our next mission. Jack's little tiny head. For $5, you can make it absolutely just comically massive.
He's Michael Keaton at the end of Beetlejuice.
Isn't that just the smallest cranium you've ever seen in your life?
Too good. So, I don't know if you participate in the consumption of DAT herb, but hypothetically, if you did, what does Munchy Josh like to snack on?
DAT herb. I need that in like a sound bite. I do not partake. However, normal me is quite a muncher to begin with. I don't know. I'm a guilty. My guilty pleasure is certainly anything from McDonald's. Yeah, or ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Bing
my
chilling.
weak point. Bing chilling. Yeah, that's me. Now that we have restart warped our way to the next mission, we will ideally get our third gun once we finish this one. This mission, we're just using our... oh, we actually got a third gun. I didn't even realize. The wave concussor. I forget the names of these guns all the time. This is the wave concussor. It's the onion gun. This is basically what we all call it. It just shoots rings, and it slowly charges up and uses 5 ammo. Max capacity. But later on, you'll actually see it use 10 ammo, But we're not worried about that just yet. That'll be a while from now. Just gotta kill these guys as fast as possible here because this mission runs on a timer. And if I kill all the guys before the time runs out, I can float over the ending platform and let the platform take me up to the top, which saves 7 seconds. So, kind of cool. Ooh, kind of neat. All right, so now we got the beam reflexor, which is 20 minutes in at the moment, and we have just gotten the most broken gun in the entire game. And that is not a joke. The beam reflexor is obscenely broken, and everyone is baffled as to how they did not catch this in playtesting. I mean, it's disgusting. But more on that later when we actually get to use the thing. Gotta head back to the garage here to corral some wild leapers, but first we gotta do some driving to get there. Again, just more Jack 3 things. We love driving to get to places. I didn't mention this, but we are in the Sand Shark. I think this is the second of four cars that we use in the run. I think there are 8 total, but we only use 4. Yeah, the Sand Shark is kind of nice. It controls well for the most part. It's just the desert that gets a little crazy. But the car itself is good. That's just the desert moment. We love that.
Yes. Desert moments. This car is the equivalent of going when you're a kid, you get like Skechers and then like you upgrade to Shacks. This is the moment in time when you're like, man, now I'm big hustling out here, man. I was the glow up. When I was in 5th grade and I got a pair of Fat Farms, whoo, you couldn't tell me nothing.
Oh my god. Oh, he's all the way over there. Whoops.
Come here, you crazy lizard!
I went from New Balance to
Leaper lightning coming through!
to Shacks, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be the king of the 6th grade. I wasn't,
but you felt like it, and
I did
at that moment. Yeah.
Stay on the
That 1 week at the end of summer.
Easy!
It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the man.
All I heard was CJ wants Heelys for Christmas. Man, them wheels ain't gonna do nothing for me. I'm in my old phase.
Hey, you never know. You never know. Those wheels could do something for you today. if you, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't like walking that much. If I got some Heelys, I'd be kind of baller.
You're just going around, rolling around at the speed of sound.
Exactly.
Yeah. You just pull up to the Quiznos and you're like, yeah, let me get a let me wheel on over to the drink station real quick. Do they still have a Quiznos? Is Quiznos, are they done?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a Quiznos in years.
We were having some Quiznos conversation the other day, and I don't know, I was here for it.
That was a little weird. Honestly, for what I just did there was quite literally no explanation. We have no idea why that works. That's called Dex Warp. It just kind of warps you to the middle of the temple. We don't know, okay? We don't know. It just works, and we use it to save time. All right. So we have climbed Monk Tower, and now we gotta glide. We gotta glide to the volcano, which...
Yo, Last Frontier?
Yeah, yes, this is TLF. Honestly, and this might be controversial, I know a lot of people hate TLF. This mission, okay, before this week, I mean, this mission is probably one of the least interesting missions, more so than most TLF missions. I'm just gonna throw that out there. It shouldn't be that controversial, but yeah, it might be. It might be to the untrained eye. But the reason I say before this week is because a new skip was just found for this that isn't RTA viable just yet, Saves like 30 seconds, and there's a couple of names floating around for it. One being Spintendo because it was found by Bintendo, and the other one being Dorothy Mode. You know, I'm not even gonna explain that one. I'm just gonna let your minds wander. But essentially, what the skip is, you just kind of turn in a tornado-like fashion, and you just fly up and up and up and up and up, and then you just kind of glide to the end of volcano, all the way to the volcano. It saves like 30 seconds, and it's actually extremely neat. But yeah, again, not really RTA viable. We don't have a full understanding of it. Yeah, pretty cool. That's really the most interesting part of this entire mission. There's nothing really else to explain. So CJ, if you had anything you'd like to say, that was a
well. Now I do have things that I have on my chest that I want to get off my chest. We are raising money for Save the Children. It's a great organization, a great cause. They sent us an award earlier this year. It was very touching. We got to open it during the Zelda subathon that we did, which was very fun. It was February, and they're honestly great. The organization is great. The work that they're doing is great. One of the hardest things is, you know, watching all the videos before the event to you know, pick the ones that are sad but not too sad, because some of these videos are really, really sad, and finding the ones that are just sad enough is hard, but it means I have to watch all the really sad ones.
Yeah.
So know that I spare you all the terrible fate that I do cry at some of the conditions that these kids are in, and you know, it's preventable. You know, we can't solve every problem in the world, but we can pull out the credit card. You know,
we can
not your credit card, the proverbial credit card.
Yes.
Do not donate money you do not have. But having said that, you can be in the lead with $6 to get Big Head Mode in the lead.
Big Head.
CJ stole my wallet.
You too, Clocky?
Yes, I took a Pan Pacific flight from Australia to California, and I stole 2 people's wallets. I made $40.
We got through the entire volcano. Volcano is usually a much longer mission than what we just did. I did skip a lot of it with an onion gun jump. Cool stuff. But we're past it. All right, we're no more past stuff. All right, we're on the Light Jack heal mission. Well, we're gonna get Jack's, I think, first Light Jack power up. Oh, I did a boosted. I did not mean to do a boosted. It's all right. There we go.
I didn't remember getting Light Jack stuff this early, but I guess it's because you're speedrunning and I took 6 hours to get here.
Yeah. Normally you don't really get that, you know, yeah, you don't get it super early. We are about halfway through Act 1. So, I mean, yeah, I guess it makes sense that this one is, it's a little further down. The Light Jack upgrades definitely come at a lesser rate than, like, getting a new gun or something. Since I think there are only 4. But yeah, now we're exiting the temple, and we will destroy our car to get us back to the garage, which saves, like, if you know the Jack 3 map, the temple is several minutes away. Yeah, it's pretty far from the garage, so just destroying your car just saves so much time there. But now we're gonna do the Rescue Wastelanders mission, but first we gotta talk to Damus to get that mission. And Do I, you know, should I spoil this? I mean, this is almost a 20-year-old game. I think it's fine to spoil things.
Okay, sure. You want to ruin it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna ruin it. Damus is Jack's father. Sorry.
What?
Well, I know. The resemblance is kind of crazy. I mean, he even has my small head.
I lost my son a long time ago. My family.
That was like the one thing that I was like for sure. Like, I was playing this as a kid, and I just like okay, like the father, all the father references. Like, I get it. And I was a kid. Like, I get it. They were like. When it was alluded finally that, you know, Damus is Jack's father, it was like, whoa, wow, really?
I think since Darth Vader got revealed as Luke's father, that we've just had that be the twist in like everything for so long. No, I'm your father. That's impossible! That man that you thought was your father that went out for a pack of cigarettes, it wasn't your father. I'm your father. I went out for a pack of cigarettes first. Why have you lived in the desert for 30 years? I got melanoma. Where else are you gonna get this this great gameplay and this conversation? Where, I ask you?
There's only one grocery store in the desert. That's why it took so long. It was on the far side of the desert.
I blew up my car and it didn't bring me back to the garage. I had to walk. No one's high. I'm high on life.
Hell yeah.
Deimos is high.
You're the best, buddy.
Smoke weed every day.
I'm pretty sure there's just like an edited picture of Damus just getting super high, and the caption is just weed, and he's just holding a blunt in his hand. Like, that exists out there somewhere.
Somebody created that.
Help me!
And I'm glad they did. It's perfect. It's a perfect image.
This mission is kind of tricky, casually, because they just want to kill you, and you have to get all these people back.
Yeah, we're basically a glorified Uber. We're just bringing, you know, wastelanders from point A to point B. Except, yeah, again, we got marauders trying to kill us and everything. But, you know, minor stuff.
Big minor.
Over here!
Big minor stuff.
Man.
Speaking of big, how much money do we need for?
We need
Big head?
$6.
buckaroos. We could finally see Jack's head again for the measly price of 6 buckaroos.
6 buckaroos is not even a Subway sandwich.
Sure. It might be
Nice
the
try.
meatballs
See you back at the
on
city.
my Subway sandwich. For you.
Yeah, they still charge you for the bread even if you ask for without bread.
Oh my god. Do they really?
There
Honestly,
was a thing. Good.
Oh! You didn't see that.
I don't.
Listen, I forgot to press L1. Listen.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistake.
That was the last guy.
That was our understudy.
That was the last guy. Well, okay. Lesson learned, right? Press L1 next time.
Let it be known that I was actually an emo kid in high school.
Were you real?
Yeah, but not like the alt fashion emo kid, just like the I had an MP3 player that had 32 songs and 30 of them were
Please help!
My Chemical Romance.
Honestly,
Thank the precursors.
that's
Take me to
fair.
transport.
My first MP3 player, because I used to have like a Sony Walkman. My first MP3 player took a AA battery.
A single AA battery?
Yup. it could have a 32 megabyte SD card in the top.
Oh, CJ, you are so old.
Yeah, back in my day, we had shooting.
You know what's the only thing better than doing Rescue Wastelanders once?
Twice?
Damn right.
Just fucking died.
Yeah, he just passed away. Gave me a free boost.
I won't forget this.
Another man died to heart disease.
Quote unquote heart disease. It's kind of weird to think about, but like when you destroy one of the cars, you get like the heart for free. It's weird. Like you just get a boost. Guys, get off of me. Marauders can be so mean. Why can't we be friends?
For sure.
Yeah.
There's a whole song about that.
Exactly. And they should listen to it.
Yeah, shout out to
They should get their Sony Walkman and
Let's get out of here.
get that 33rd song on there. And listen to it a few times.
My RCA MP3 player was the shit. And then I upgraded to one that had 8 gigs of storage.
Wow.
And I could have 128 songs on it.
That's actually
You're the best.
really good.
It was from 30. It was great. I had albums on there.
That concept is just like bizarre.
Yeah, I know, right?
to have a full album.
Yeah,
Like, you wouldn't want to waste, you wouldn't, if you have 32 songs of space, you don't want to, waste it on, waste a third of it on an album. You want the best of everything.
It was like a ritual Sunday night before I would like get ready to go to bed, where I would be on like FrostWire trying to figure out like what songs I was gonna put on my my MP3 player for the week.
Right. We're at a new part of Rescue Wastelanders. Aliens. That I would explain this, but like, I feel like this explains it pretty good. You could just if you just look at this picture, you could see what happened to this Wastelander. Aliens. We gotta kill aliens. Yeah. I forget if it's actually explained by this point who the aliens are. Probably.
Head for the city, Jack.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like another faction, right, that they added into the lore, which doesn't do anything to the overall story.
Yeah. They're just kind of there to be extra enemies. That's really it.
And like casually, they're really annoying to fight.
Oh, very. Alright, so we're heading back to the garage for the, to finish out the mission here. And if we could, just like not get destroyed by these marauder wheels, that'd be great. That's really the most dangerous part of these marauders are their wheels. Believe it or not, these wheels are unbelievably annoying because when you destroy a car, the 4 wheels just kind of come out and just go crazy, and then kind of do that to your car, which can be quite annoying. So it's almost better sometimes to just like not interact with Wastelanders or with Marauders, so that their wheels just don't go flying everywhere. Yeah, we're out, and now we're going to play a little mini game with the turret. Our only defense system for the entire city, and we're gonna play a game on it.
Hey, I know that this is like really important, but I want to play Duck Hunt.
That's actually what we're doing. Like, we're just gonna play Duck Hunt. Like, Fun times.
I really liked Jak 3 as a kid. I think I beat Jak 3 before I beat Jak 2.
Same here. Same here.
There was some mission in Jak 2 that I got stuck on.
Do you remember which one it was?
Is this one, or is it the last game? Is it 2 or 3 that has the mission where you're Daxter on the missile?
That's Jak 3. Yeah.
It wasn't that one then. What's the score for Big Smallhead? That's a great question. So Big Head is in the lead with $20. Smallhead is in the lead with 20, and Big Head is in the second place with 16 or 15. So $6 will take over the score. And you can donate for Big Head with $6 and take the lead. So you're actually just playing Duck Hunt.
Yes. There's like one gimmick about this. The earlier you shoot the targets, the more points you get. The red targets are worth up to 100, the blue ones are worth up to 200, and the green ones are worth up to 300. That's pretty much it. You don't have to be absolutely perfect to be optimal here, luckily. So this is very much a chill mission. As long as you know where they're gonna be, it should be. There's a high score version of this, a more arcade version, where if you miss a shot, well, you get like combos basically for hitting consecutive shots. And if you miss, then that combo gets reset. But we don't care about missing because there is no combo in this. It would make it way faster if we did. Yeah, we're just vibing till we hit 7K.
There feels like a lot of Halo inspiration in this game.
I think so as well, yeah.
Like there was a straight up an elephant before. Yeah. The carrier transport we were bringing the guys back to. Like this, yeah, that was like an elephant, like a UNSC elephant. That's like the turret on. That's like the deck guns on the larger ships. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. And
there's also like the flood. I feel like is completely ripped off.
Yeah.
There's in the cave. Yeah, the flood are just like they're exact replicas.
The final boss in this game is a scarab.
Yeah. It's like
if you put in the da 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 da, like you would absolutely be playing Halo.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't realize some of those elements that you said. The one I realized almost immediately was the flood one, but yeah, those other ones that makes total sense. Like final bosses are quite literally the same. It's wow.
This gun is really crazy.
Yeah.
I always felt like I'm just a terrible shot. And so this one kind of heals a lot of that, but I always feel like I don't have ammo.
Yeah, that's fair. That's really the only downside to this weapon. There are secrets in the menu that can bring your ammo up to 300, I think. And there's also like an upgrade where there's just more bounces on the beam reflexor as well, and it does more damage. So it's like, this is the only gun you really need. Especially with those upgrades. So yeah, I just don't have to like look at anything. I could just spray and it kills everything. Beam reflexor is disgusting. You don't have to aim.
So the game aims for you?
The game aims for you. Beautiful. And now that we're done, we actually got our 5th weapon. Our first in the blue tree of weapons called the Vulcan Fury. That one's it's more of like a machine gun. I don't know. We hardly ever use it. I think there's one mission where we use it in Act 2. And that's just like a maybe. But we'll get there when we get there. For now, we're going to be heading to destroy eggs. We're going to destroy some eggs with SIG. I guess this is... I mean, I don't know why SIG's here. I think... I don't remember what the lore reason for this is. SIG is just like... I think he's just here on punishment with us.
Speaking of punishment, we got $6.
Yo!
Sorry, I tabbed out. I can do this. From Kaibo G that says,
my brother?
Big heads unite.
Big head it is. Big head it is. Let's make that switcheroo there. Now we can see Jack's head out of the Gila Stomper. A rare sight.
We're in this fucking garbage truck and our heads poking out. Did you ever play Simpsons Hit and Run?
I did.
It's like when you play as Marge and she's in any car, her hair goes straight back.
Just it's like the only thing you can see. Thank you,
Yes.
TJ.
Yeah, so now Big Head mode is winning by $1. So you can sway the balance of power with $2.
A $2 buckaroo donation. Make
That's a
Jack's head
toonie.
10 times smaller.
Small Jack.
I just love that, like, Jack's head, whenever you turn, you see, like, Jack's head kind of bob side to side. You don't really get to see that with normal head Jack, but with big head Jack, it's like apparent. It's like he's jamming to some music or something. Anyway, here we are at Destroy Eggs, our punishment for defiling the arena. Gonna shoot. There are 10 eggs here, and it's supposed to show up on the right how many eggs you have left. But I think because of the restart warp we did to get closer to the mission, I think that kind of broke it. But it should come up right about now. There it is. Now it shows we have 5 eggs left. This card can get really... It's real sturdy. And yet, I mean, I feel like I flipped in this car more than, you know, the Sand Shark or the Tough Puppy. But it's supposed to be sturdy. It's kind of not though. Kind of a lot.
It like just can't mantle over anything.
Yeah, it doesn't do much. It's probably my least favorite car of the 4 that we actually use.
You just get beached everywhere.
Yeah.
We gotta get out of the nest, Jack.
Alright, so now we've destroyed all the eggs. There's a bunch of poison gas in the cave now. We gotta escape in 3 minutes. Ideally, it should only take 43 seconds, but 3 minutes should be enough time, is the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, all we gotta do is just drive to the edge of the cave and we're out. Also, this is the Flood. This is just like, tell me this is just not a straight up rip off of the Flood.
They are actually just the Flood.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just, I mean, they're the base form Flood, right?
Yes.
If they had the Flood brutes, then it would like really be like copyright infringement.
I feel like they've got something close. I feel like they do. Well, we'll see. We'll see. They just might.
There was a thing where I don't remember what it was. It was like when Avatar first came out, like 09, and they asked James Cameron, like, hey, how do you respond to everything in your movie looks like it was taken from Halo? And he goes, well, I feel pretty good about it because they took everything from Aliens.
Yeah, fair enough.
This guy reminds me of Outrag J.
Who's that? I don't know that guy. Sounds like a cool dude though.
He sounds like a cool dude.
Now that we're back at the garage here, we're gonna take the Dune Hopper,
Glad you're still alive.
the final car we will get to use, and also my favorite. Sadly, we won't be using it for very long. Oh, there's a motorcycle outside. Sorry, that was probably really loud. Won't get to use it for very long because a restart warp there gets us straight to the Defend Ashland mission. And now we're going to use the beam reflexor and just sort of... You get the idea. Spray and pray. So there's not a lot of praying because it's probably just going to hit them all. If we manipulate the camera though, to not look at certain parts of this area, the oasis here, we can get more spawns to happen. The more spawns we get, the faster this mission goes. Oh! That guy just wanted to get a little quick hit. Put the last of these cars here. And we should be good to go.
They've got us surrounded.
Oh, get these guys to despawn, hopefully. Some more cars in the mini-map. You're not going away. Okay. We have to kill you. All right. That should be the end. There we go. Okay. Now we get our what would have been the only secret in the run if it weren't for big and small head mode. We get turbo jetboard, which is conveniently only 5 orbs and is just unequivocally one of the best secrets, especially for the speed run. You don't have to do anything and the jetboard just goes really, really fast in the desert. Such a W. 5 orbs only. It's, yeah, again, just one of the best secrets. And this is going to get us to the temple a lot quicker. There's actually been a recent route I've kind of been testing out with getting the turbo jetboard just directly after Defend Ashland, which is what I just did. In the world record currently, turbo jetboard has gotten like halfway through Act 2. Oh, that's scary. Made it. So there's a hover I could do here to the temple, but it's pretty unsafe and it kills a lot of my runs. So I generally wouldn't do it in a marathon setting. Then we're just gonna jetboard on over there. No hovers needed. So we'll be using the hover quite often. We'll see it pretty soon here. Another restart warp here to get into the temple. Saving another few seconds here. And instead of doing the actual mission here where we like collect a bunch of tokens, we're gonna do a little bit of a skip within the mission here. Basically get us straight to the end. This would be the start of the tokens area. Instead we're gonna do this. This is called the hover glitch, where we can use a side trick and then a vertical trick and just repeat the vertical trick over and over to get more and more height. And now we're basically at the end of the mission. All we have to do is use our onion gun. Get here. And then boom, end of the mission. What would be a mission that'd be a few minutes is a lot less. Now we have our first sub-rails section, where this is actually the mission. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Zathura?
The space Jumanji?
Yes. This mission was actually featured in the movie. Kid was playing Jack 3 and he was in the sub-rails, vibing out. kind of
fly and chill, watch Zathura at my place.
Based.
I haven't thought about that movie in I don't know, forever.
I think it came out in like 05 or something.
I like how inefficient this rail system is. It just blows the fucking car up every time.
Gotta get a new car each time you drive through it. That's pretty efficient. Alright, now for EcoMine. What would be a very long and grueling section we can get through with a proxy here. Very fun one. I really like doing this one. Real easy to do. This can take us all the way to the next section, EcoMine. Right to the elevator. And instead of riding the elevator down, we're gonna do a little bit of the deload trick. Oh, okay, never mind. We're not gonna do the deload trick because I couldn't get a side flip for speed. So we will be doing this inbounds, which is fine. Not every day I get to do inbounds. EcoMine. Oh. Not every day that I practice this either.
So inbounds EcoMine for the spice?
For the spice, dude. Those guys are a little annoying, but it's fine. Alright. Go through, and for our troubles, we get leg armor.
Yo, leg armor!
Clap it up for leg armor. We love leg armor.
Our little leg, we're not gonna skin our knees anymore.
No more boo-boos.
We got shin guards.
Grab bomb train. What is honestly a really, really cool mission. We just basically have to shoot all the targets to move the the bomb along the tracks. Plus we can do a little hover over here to get to the rest of these targets. Shoot a couple of bullets that way. Oh. No. Got a few targets left. Fall down here. Bada boom, bada bang. Beam reflexor does all the work. And we're done with the mission. Because of that little fall that I did here, this elevator is just straight up not there. It's just at the bottom instead of the top, so you don't have to write it down. It's a little funny deload. And now we're at the end of Act 1, where we fight the precursor robot, who doesn't have Gul and Maya in it, sadly. This is the lesser villain, Vigor's precursor robot.
Do something!
Miss Gul and Maya. Wish they brought them back.
They had some Cersei, Jaime Lannister vibe to them, you know?
Yeah. You know, they're great.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. My entire family watched Game of Thrones, but I did not.
I didn't either, to be honest with you. I've only been watching clips recently.
I love how this boss is just sees the bombs come down at him and doesn't avoid them after the first time. Like, I don't know. How do you just like not realize like, hey, I should probably avoid these? This is the only way he's gonna attack me. And it's worked twice so far. Maybe I should move.
That just makes sense.
It makes too much sense. Why would this work 3 times?
Do something. The arc wielder?
The arc wielder, that is I like to call the lightning gun. It just sprays lightning. It's kind of neat. It's a very satisfying gun to use, and I'm sure we'll use this later on in Act 2 here.
Nice. I wanted to jump in really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're at 1890, and there's some significance to that number because this is the most money that we have ever raised on a day up to this point on a day 2.
What?
Yes. So the previous record was 1880, which we passed with that last $6 donation. So thank you to everybody for pushing us higher and farther than we've ever been on day 2. And I would love to see this number get up to 2,000 tonight. That would be the first time that we ever hit 2K on day 2, ever.
Would be sick.
There are 7 days in SDAT, and we're already off to a really great start. And obviously, day 5 and day 6 are always big days. Get those donations in. It's going to be a lot of fun. Love to see us hit that $2,000 mark.
Very nice. We're at our first sewers mission. You can see Act 2 certainly picks up the pace with its missions here. Act 1 is definitely more of a tutorial more than anything. And once we get the jet board, things really start picking up. Yeah, there's endless possibilities with this jet board, and I plan on exploiting a lot of them.
Do you ever feel like you could like actually play other like games because this game is like part Tony Hawk and part like you know like like in like part Mario Kart?
Yeah, it's like there's so many different like aspects of the game that are just it's just everywhere. It really is. I really feel like I could.
There you go. I do love the name of Daxter's bar. The Naughty Otzel.
Yeah. That's a good one. I don't know why I've been accustomed, like when you said I love the name of Daxter's bar, the first thing I thought of was Nick Daxter's. And I don't know why I thought this.
That's pretty funny.
I just always think of it as
we were talking about McDonald's. They're saying that you'd be great at running Halo in the chat.
Probably. Considering, I mean, they're basically the same. Let's be real here.
Yeah, the Jack 3 is Halo 3. We got another $10 from Bard that says two-head mode for real time.
All right. Consider it done.
Are there such thing as night bees?
I'm sorry?
There's a bee in my house at night.
What?
I thought bees slept at night. It's here.
Yeah, what?
All right.
Great shooting, Jack.
Here, bee.
It's nice to have you back. Come back to the Naughty Otzel and let's talk.
So, all right. So that's a strange thing to happen. Now we're at the mission CJ was talking about earlier. The Daxter missile. This mission normally would be pretty easy once you've ran through it a few times. But there's always a fun aspect here called a low jump, where normally if you press and hold X, you get a really, really high jump. If you just tap X, you get a lower jump. But sometimes when you try and do a full jump, Dax will say no and just do like the lowest jump possible, which can screw you over quite a bit. So I'm doing the best I can to prepare for these low jumps.
Out of the way, Roadhog!
We'll see. We'll see. They happen at random, so yeah, there's no way to really know when it's gonna happen. You just kind of gotta work with what you got. Prepare for every low jump possible. Otherwise, this would just be a very, very easy mission. Yeah, low jumps can lose you quite a bit of time if you're not careful. But it looks like we got 0 low jumps, so very nice. Very good.
All right, the Night B has been dealt with.
Very nice.
I missed.
Oh?
And then I got pissed, and then I karate kid grabbed it.
What is happening?
And it died. And then I like had to squeeze my hand shut harder, and then I heard it crunch. So I killed the bee in my hand. I grabbed the bee out of the air.
Oh,
can I tell you, I was really bad at these.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only good at them because I know exactly where they're gonna be. Otherwise, yeah, I'd be pretty bad at these two.
Oh, it's like that scene in Men in Black. Why did little Tiffany deserve to die?
Oh, forgot he was there.
Catherine with the big advice.
Oh, nice.
This is just ripping off Titanfall. Or I guess Titanfall ripped off Jack and Daxter 3.
Yeah, I suppose. It's kind of weird to think about. Oh, there we go. Yeah, our points can dip below 10,000, so you don't want to end the gun course under 10,000, because then you just have to do the whole thing again. But yeah, it did dip below 10k, but luckily I wasn't out the door by that time. And now we're doing sniper cannons. These next 4 missions are often called the Big 4 because they're hard. They're difficult missions. Yeah, sniper cannons is the beginning of that. We do a very specific movement there to get our camera locked in with that first sniper cannon. And this is going to do some funky things when I go near the other sniper cannons. The camera's going to whip next to the next sniper cannon as I get near it. And then it'll just like complete it. Listen, I don't know.
What in the hell is going on?
But yeah, those sniper cannons are deloaded and therefore finished. Can work with this one if you're fast enough, but I was not. So I have to do this one manually. And the last one you always have to do manually, so. Yeah, done really fast. Sniper cannons is real satisfying. You can like barely see Jack at most points throughout that mission. Yeah, the camera is a very, very strong tool in this game, and it is used and abused. Now we'll head to Torn so he can give us our next sewers mission.
I think my favorite character in this game is the monkey parrot.
Oh my god, what's his name?
He has a name, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, let's be honest here, it doesn't matter. I'm actually having trouble. What is his name?
Chat if you know.
What I'm talking about. Pecker. Thank you. Oh my god. Yeah, Pecker's funny. He's He's much like Dax there. He's just comedic relief.
Ah, what a team we'll make. I like how they only exile Jack, but then him and Pecker get out.
Right.
Let's go with him. We'll go together. You mean we'll die together?
That was beautiful.
I've invested too many skill points into mimicry. Where the fuck did we go?
There you go. TJ's got a nice little explanation of how sniper cannons works. Very, very camera-centric. Go do a little bit of hovering to get to a very specific point in sewers. There we go. Didn't die. A decent ways through the mission with just a hover. Now we'll progress through this thing like somewhat normal. You normally have to kill a horde of enemies to get through those barriers, but if you just stay grounded while going through them, you'll just pass through them on the jetboard. Pretty easy little skip there. You can hover over these barriers and then hover through this wall. Very specific part of that wall. And then bang, we're at the end. Sewers 2, very, very tough mission. The second of the big 4 is complete. Now we're at the third, almost immediately. No real transition needed, no driving. Straight in it. We gotta destroy these 5 Dark Eco tanks.
I need you to take out a cache of Dark Eco near the Southport border. We have reports that the metalheads are using it to create terrible Dark Eco weapons to infect the city.
Get absolutely destroyed here and fall into the barf pit.
Good luck, soldier.
Jetboarding here is the terrain is just not very nice. Very rugged, much like the desert, but probably worse. Oh, and there are enemies too that aren't nice to me. I mean, they never are, so much to be expected, I suppose.
There really isn't a good explanation for why there are metalheads.
Yeah, they just sort of exist.
They went so far out of the way to be like, if you destroy core, you destroy all metalheads.
Yeah.
And then they were like, I guess not.
Huh.
Also, there really isn't a good explanation for why they blame Jack.
Yeah, they're just like you came with the trouble, so it's like it's gotta be you, right?
They're blaming you, Jack. It's like, why?
Why?
I saved you.
Yeah, I literally saved your lives.
You must destroy them before they spread. There are some ancient precursors.
That's kind of crazy, actually.
They have a link to the
You basically just tried to exile your only real defense.
We'll never know for sure. Make me proud.
Jack, you can kill those plants with your jetboard. Just scoop up green eco.
This is the 4th of 4 of the big 4 here. You basically just have to. There's a mission in Jack 1 where in Precursor Basin, you gotta basically get rid of the Dark Eco plants. This is more of the same of that, but a little more. Well, they're a little more spread around. They don't regrow as fast. So they don't really. Well, no, they do regrow, just very slowly. So yeah, I just go around on your jetboard and spray them down. It's actually a very, very satisfying mission. When it's done well, it's beautiful. Oh, it was going well, and then I did that. Sorry. Yeah, we're just vibing.
So that's certainly how I'm approaching the evening.
Hell yeah. I think this is actually like this and Dark Eco Tanks are probably my favorite missions in Jak 3. Just because of like the nice and satisfying jetboard movement you get to do. Feels really good to pull off. Making sure on the mini-map here that I didn't miss any. It looks like I'm good. This is one of those time losses for having voices on. I have to kind of sit here for 10-15 seconds and wait for the communicator to go away. If the voices were off, then I'd just be able to finish the mission.
I'll see what I can find out.
You know, you just let him cook.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Are you him?
Oh, I'm him.
Jack, we're located 4 critical power junctions that if destroyed,
you're looking for him, you found him.
Some of their shields.
I'm him.
Our bang expert Jinx can blow the junctions if you can get him to each one and protect him while he's laying the charges.
So now we gotta say hi to our old friend Jinx here from Jak 2, and escort him again to, let him do things. I don't know. He does stuff. We just kind of have to let him cook, I guess. Yeah. So we're gonna
let him cook.
Let Jinx cook and wait for him to do, stuff. Good stuff there, Jinx. Good job. All right, he's done. Now we got 3 more of these to go to. One of the tough things about not having voices on, we don't get to hear Jinx say, "You watch my ass." it's just iconic.
I'll set the charges.
Sometimes if I do this well, if I drop him off at the right point, you can get Jinx to be completely inside the eco grid, which basically like abstains him from like all damage. So, because if he gets damaged, then he gets interrupted, and it takes longer for him to cook, so to speak. Yeah, we got 2 more of these to go. Jak does a lot of like Ubering and like I don't know, like you just have to let these guys. I'm sure Jak could do this himself if he really wanted to. I don't know what Jinx is really doing here, but I'm sure Jak can do it, and probably faster. But you gotta let other people get involved. These guys are a little annoying. They can get pretty scary. Take a lot of hits to kill, and they're quite accurate, especially to Jinx. If you're not looking at your minimap, they'll roll in pretty fast. You just won't be ready. Nods, you said?
Yeah. Sounds right to me.
Alright. Now we are done with that. And we don't care about Jinx anymore. Say goodbye to Jinx. Bye, Jinx.
Ashman here. Jak, we've got word of a shipment.
And now we are going to
city section.
hijack this eco vehicle.
Find a vehicle with the eco.
Funny enough, by grinding up that rail that I grinded up earlier, we skipped like a loading trigger.
Remember.
Oh, I forgot the car isn't here until there it is. There we go. Communicator went away. Now the car's here. Normally the car would just always be there in the void, but we have to wait for the communicator to be done speaking. But yeah, by grinding up that rail earlier, it kind of just completely skipped like a load trigger in the city, which allows us to just drive straight to the car. these are a little tricky. We have to hit these. I don't even know what these are called. But we gotta make them. We gotta shoot them and make them turn yellow. Those first two are probably the trickiest ones. But those were done well. So good. Very easy to have to drive around multiple times and try and hit these pillars.
One more down. You are the man, Jack.
And you can't, you know, turn around. You have to literally make a 360 to reach them because the missiles are just right behind you. So it can get pretty unfun pretty fast, but it went pretty smoothly. So. And now there are hordes of enemies here, and you gotta kill them all. You gotta defend the ports. Again, don't know the lore reason why this is a thing.
Jack, those bottle plants are out of control. Our guys are getting lit up all over the port.
That sounds. Was that like the actual line? I'd believe it if it was.
I have no idea. Kitsune is raiding with a party of 5. Hello, Kitsune. Welcome back.
Welcome.
Jack, my father went to the pier to get a pack of cigarettes 30 years ago when he got melanoma.
Just in time for the party.
Metalheads are taking over the city.
I wish I could do that voice as good as you. I really wish I could. It's so good.
Like I said, I invested a lot of skill points into mimicry.
Well spent, honestly.
Thank you.
Well spent.
It Josh.
Hey, Chuck. Oh yeah, this is the most satisfying way to use this gun. Just zapping around and eliminating everyone so quickly. It's so nice. Sadly, we won't really get to use the Vulcan Fury or the lightning gun much further after this, but they're great guns. This is the needle laser, which I don't believe we've unlocked yet. Or maybe we just did. I actually don't know. I actually think we unlocked it right after Eco Grid, so new gun alerts.
You got it!
Needle laser is real nice. We get to use that. It's probably the second or third best gun in the game. The last blue gun you unlock. And it just, just targets everyone around you, but it's just not as efficient as the beam reflexor. But it does good work. It does good work. So yeah, I mean, you get the idea. Kill everything in sight. Sadly, I accidentally picked up the onion gun. Onion gun is not very good speed-wise. Honestly, that's like the only gun you want to avoid. Sorry, onion. No, you like onions, but you don't like onions.
Is the gun like an onion because it has layers?
It's circle. I don't know.
Circle.
Circle.
Okay.
That's all I got for you, CJ.
That's all I got.
Circle. This is the last phase of this here. Those blast parts have a lot of health, and best you can do is really just to get right under him and then you just spray.
I actually here now. I'm dead.
Of course, you would, CJ. You would.
That's who I am. It's my Steve.
Yeah. Let's see. The lightning gun here is going to be real useful for the blast bots. Normally they have, a ton of health and take forever to kill, but with this gun, it makes them like just die instantly. He's already dead. Most broken gun for the blast bots in general. But just specifically for the blast bots, it's not really broken for anything else. Everything's got its little niche use, I feel like, in this game, which is pretty fun.
It's good.
So now we're doing the onion gun course. And you can actually do a double shot on this gun. You do a jump, spin, and then just hold shoot. You can shoot twice the amount of bullets for this, and it can take down like shielded enemies or enemies that need 2 hits to kill in just 1 shot. Which I will be using the hell out of. Like those shielded enemies are just gone. Double shot, and those big enemies just die in 1 shot as well. As long as I do it correctly, I mean, as long as I get the timing right, rather, it should be a simple hit 11k here. Okay. Normally you could be finished after this set of enemies, but I'm about 400 short, so I gotta wait 1 more cycle. No big deal.
We are only $100 away from $2 grand, which I said earlier would be an all-time best for day 2. So let's really try. I mean, we're halfway through this run, right? Thereabout. So we have another halfway to go. I think we can get another $100 in an hour and a half. I believe in y'all.
Believe. How much are we looking at for Big Head?
$2 wins the pony.
$2.
Think about what you could buy for $2. A gumball.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, a gumball, baby?
A thing of Tic Tacs.
You can buy like a half pint of milk from the desert in Jack 3.
Oh, so there you go.
Maybe. Actually, probably can't afford that. That's probably why Dad never came back. We didn't bring enough money.
It wasn't the melanoma after all. You felt like a failure. Son, it's really because I couldn't look your mother in the eye. I couldn't afford a thing of milk.
You could buy a crisp $2 bill.
Yes, I'm going to the bank. I'm going to buy $2 bills. The one hack this bank hates.
I would exchange all my money for just $2 bills.
You would?
Yeah, why not? It'd be fun. I don't lose any money.
You wouldn't lose any money, but everyone would be like, why the fuck is this guy paying for his laundry in $2 bills?
Just at the grocery store, like 3, 4, 6, 8.
The wand looks really big, but not as big as it should be if it were $1 bills. Also, this is 100% a locust from Halo.
Yeah. Man, these really are just extremely Halo inspired. It's ridiculous.
A little bit. But you know what? I like Halo, so it works out.
That's the end of that. We just become a blast bot for 2 minutes here. That's the only time we'll ever do that. You can see Jack's little head in the cutscene for a split second there.
He just pokes up every now and then.
Yeah. Alright, on our way to the back half of Act 2 here. Back in the desert we go. Vanished. Not really. I guess we come here willingly this time. Oh. Oh. And these guys are mean. No, as marauders are. And we're gonna give the marauders another 4-ish minutes to be mean again. Because we got more artifacts to collect, and this is, even though we actually have guns this time to protect ourselves, this mission is still 10 times more brutal than Artifacts 1. I don't know what it is with this AI this time around, but like, they're aggressive. It's scary at times. Playing this mission casually, I would like nearly die every single time. These aren't the type of missions usually where you lose a ton of health, but this one in particular, they're just really, really aggressive. Yeah, let's hope I don't die on the very last artifact and have to restart the entire thing.
Couldn't be me.
I would never do such a thing.
All right, more precursor crap.
You heard it here first.
Oh, okay. So the camera trick that I was explaining earlier, where you could just turn the camera around and despawn marauders in front of you, that doesn't work in this mission for some reason. It just doesn't work. It's like the devs knew it was a thing and just patched it out. Really strange. Or I don't know. I actually have no idea why that could be, or why that's even a thing in the first place, but here we are. It doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, I mean, you get the gist here. Just like some artifacts for some odd lore reason. As you do. Love driving in the desert. I guess a little nitpicky thing I could try to explain as I sort of drive through the desert here. Whenever I need to turn, like, more than just a tad, I just let go of the gas entirely. Otherwise, I just swerve, because the desert is slidey. So I have to, like, let go of the gas entirely if I want to turn more than a smidge, which you can imagine just based off of that how slippery the desert really is. And having to deal with these marauders on top of that is hectic. But we manage. Another common trick, I guess, with these marauders who come at you head on, you can almost always get them, like, bait them one direction and turn another. Just like a nice little trick to use in the desert, but sometimes they don't take the bait, which could suck. Yeah, we're done with artifacts. Honestly, didn't go too bad.
The hollow cube. That's one of the items we need for the forest. Good work. Keep looking for more.
Jack, this is Sid. I hear you're in the market for eco-prisms. Well, I know where one is, but it won't be a cave.
Yeah, I gotta make this more interesting by having less health.
Some serious metalhead hunting to do. I'll meet you at the Metalhead Desert Nest. I'm counting on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so strange. Just hearing the voices. I'm hearing the voices again. It's weird. But I don't know. I like hearing them from time to time. banging YouTube vid. Now, for our next mission here, we have to defend the Spargus Gate because there are tons of flaming cars outside just ramming into the garage. And I mean, Jack and the turret are really the only two defenses, and there's no turret over here, so it's just us. So we got 13 big cars with cannons or catapults or whatever they're called. What's at the top?
Something.
Something like that. And you'll see the cars highlighted in red are the ones I actually have to destroy to progress in the mission. However, the orange cars are the flaming cars that head toward the garage. And you can see what health the garage is at in the top left. And if too many cars reach the garage, then we lose. But the funny thing about this mission, you don't really have to worry about the orange cars at all. They don't nearly do enough damage to take out the entire garage before I'm done with this mission. So I just ignore them largely. It's rare for the garage to get below half HP. Here we are. Just make sure these gotta go. It's like quite literally 0 flaming cars on the map at the moment, which is a little strange. But usually what ends up happening is that when the orange cars do spawn, they sort of drive around and not right to the garage most of the time. So like you see that guy, he didn't even go to the garage, he just kind of lollygagged. But nothing ever gets done on the Marauder side of things. Too much lollygagging.
Too much lollygagging.
You gotta get their butts in gear. And the communicator is completely in the way. I can't see anything. Okay, so instead of the Marauders coming to us, we are finally coming to the Marauders. We're bringing the heat to the Marauders for once, and we are going to their stronghold. And you could probably guess which gun we're going to be using to take them all out. It's just the first choice is always the beam reflexor. It just does too well.
Can I jump in really quick? We have a $25 donation. And it went towards Big Head.
Holy. Big Head. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Big Head is back on the menu.
Yep, that means we are $75 away from $2 grand. We can do it. We can do it.
Extra credit.
What I learned in boating school is... My hand is cramping, Mrs. Buff, make it stop! You only need 3 more words!
I always get a kick out of these impressions, CJ. Seriously.
Thank you. Thank you.
They're my favorite part of being here. Not even Jack 3. Listen, I'm here for the impressions, all right?
Hey, listen, come for the Jack 3, but stay. Yeah, don't get it twisted.
Stay for the impressions. We are halfway through this mission, destroyed basically every marauder that ever existed, except we didn't. Spoiler: they're still in the desert. Nothing really happened on their end, but we're gonna restart the mission here to allow us to do a bit of an exploit. We'll see here. I got 4 marauders to chase. And one of them's got an artifact that we need. Spoiler: it's always the last one that we kill has the artifact we need. But I need to get, instead of going to the left here and following the mission's wishes, we're gonna head this way instead. Now, what this is gonna do, do this correctly, and I kill what's supposed to be the last guy first at a very specific time. Yep. So we're killing them backwards now, which saves crazy amounts of time over chasing each one individually. And the last guy just kind of gets stuck in the cave. His AI is a little broken. And now we are completely done with the mission. What normally would have been, you know, a several-minute mission, just doing it backwards saves so much time.
Grateful for your help. It is possible I may have misjudged you too. That artifact.
Now we head straight to the cave for metal peeds.
Please keep it as a sign.
Probably one of my least favorite missions in the game. Oh, like pause there, just so you can see Big Head.
He looks like a Funko Pop.
Yeah, he does.
Go, go, go!
Well, so each time a metal peed pops up, there's one of 3 patterns. I don't know what that pattern is called, but that one's the annoying one. So there's the annoying one, there's the short dive, and then there's the long dive. 2 of them are good, 1 of them is bad. That's the long dive because he comes up and he takes forever to come back down, but we can do a lot of damage usually to him while he's out. So we should be able to take him out and then head back to the 3rd metal peed. We're just gonna call it the annoying one. That one, he's not up for a very long time, so he can't do a lot of damage to you, and he shoots back. So annoying. The long dive here should take him out. Very nice. Mega fast. We have to kind of go back and forth between these 2 parts of the cave. So that's just where the next metal peed always spawns. Oh, it's on the other side. Play a long dive here. Oh, another annoying one. Sometimes those shots can flip your car, making it 10 times more annoying. Loses a lot of time. We got 1 more guy left. And also, we're manipulating these guys to spawn exactly where we want them, just by keeping the camera in a specific place. And they follow the rules most of the time of the camera, but sometimes they'll kind of be weird about it. But that was generally pretty good. We got our light eco crystal, and we are done with metal peeds. We just got to drive to the exit of the cave. Yeah. Solid overall in the RNG. Not too many annoying patterns. And even though, you know, this mission is just like heavy RNG, the camera does help a lot with manipulating spawns and stuff. You just want to pray that you get the good types of spawns. You want as least amount of annoying spawns possible.
We're just eradicating the metalheads in the flood.
Yeah.
We are just slaughtering them.
I think Jack 3 is probably the Jack game with the most killing. Like, that's a lot of killing.
Oh god, yeah.
A close second is probably TLF. You're constantly killing in that game too. Weird. Like, you wouldn't think it. You'd probably think Jack 2 is probably next, but no, it's like very likely TLF. It's just a murder spree. Oh, I'm getting shot up.
Yeah, yeah. What is TLF? Is it the Lost or the Last Frontier?
Lost Frontier.
They saw the glider game, mini game in this game, and were like, we can make a whole game out of that.
Shoot him, Jack!
Similarly, they had a desert race in this game, and was like, you can make a whole game out of that too.
Let's make the ground bumpy.
And thus Jack X was born.
And thus the Powerpuff Girls were born, using their powers to fight crime. I do like these random dead-ass trees that are growing in the middle of the fucking desert.
Yeah, like, what is this? What is happening?
It used to be an oasis?
I think so. Yeah, there is a section of the desert that just used to be an oasis.
So, okay, so like the original Jak and Daxter, this is some Jak and Daxter lore, right? The original Jak, right? That area eventually becomes Haven City. Somehow.
Somehow, some way.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're Mar, but not that Mar. Whatever.
Yeah.
So the area of the first game is the area that becomes Haven City. So what the hell is this? Is that mountain in the distance the frozen peak where the bird thing is? Is this lava tube?
You know, I don't know if this was part of the original. This is way off from the from Haven.
This is where the water was.
Yeah, this is like where the yeah, this is where the water or water was, because it's like hardly anymore. But yeah. Ah! This is the void of Jak 1.
What's the name of the bird?
Plut. My favorite character.
Take him out.
Other than Claw, maybe.
Why did it take Jak and Daxter and Peckersong to find water in the intro cutscene? They could have walked in any direction from where they were and found either water or Sparkus.
Right. There's actually more water than you might think in this desert. There's a whole river here. I mean, you're bound to find something, right?
Is Claw the guy in the chair?
Claw?
The big... Who's the big heavy-set dude that in the floating chair?
Oh, that's Crew. Claw is the lava boss in Jak 1.
Right. Crew makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's a little slimy in more ways than one. Those fingers are slimy, and his personality is quite slimy.
Oh, Josh, you must tell me your haircut recipe. I must know it. My father has melanoma.
Why does everyone's father have melanoma here?
I do, because they live in the desert.
It's the third person this week.
Damn. Imagine being the oncologist for Sparkus. God damn it, Janine. Why does everyone have melanoma? They're not using sunscreen. Davis is 35. He looks like an 80-year-old man. He looks like a wallet.
You found another artifact for the forest ruins, but we are still missing the most important piece. Bring back the items you found, and we will try to find where the last
Alright, we are finally out of the most boring mission in the game.
Daystar really is, and we believe the forest ruins may hold
I can't get into the... There we go. The communicator is preventing me from doing anything. Approximately how much coconut oil do you use in a month? I'm actually allergic to coconut.
Really?
So, yeah, that probably wouldn't be a good idea for me.
Like breakout and hives allergic?
No. I get itchy, but I don't really break out in hives though.
Let's see if those items you found
Not a very big allergy.
activated unlock their secrets.
Small allergies are still allergies, you know? You're still valid.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm allergic to shrimp.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a shame because it's one of the foods I actually really like.
Yeah, shrimp is real good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but then if I eat it, I die.
Yeah. As you do.
Yeah, you know, the things we do for shrimp. Man, endless shrimp at Red Lobster, that was my dad's shit back in the day.
What a deal, huh?
I know. I'd get popcorn shrimp, he'd get scampi. I think that's why I became allergic to it.
Had too much of it.
I had too much endless shrimp. He'd be like, no, you gotta get at least 5 plates to make this worth it for me. I'm like, Dad, that's so much fucking shrimp. He's like, I didn't ask you for your opinion.
I can't imagine something like endless shrimp in 2023. There's no way. It's too iconic to be a part of today's society.
It's too good of a deal.
Yeah, it's too good of a deal. Way too good.
That's how I feel now. Whenever I get a deal, I'm like, how is this gonna fuck me over later?
Oh, I forgot I was like in a mission. This is like one of my favorite missions of all time, by the way. I love Pillar Ring Challenge. It's just 4 minutes of just jetboarding fun. I just really like using the jetboard. It's one of the more satisfying things about Jack series. Anytime I get to ride it for a mission, it's But essentially, I mean, you kind of get the idea. You just have to activate these missions and get to the rings in time. You make one of those pillars go up in the center. And once we finish all 5 challenges, we get to go up and grab our artifact. Even though we can just hover up there, sadly the trigger is not there until we actually do all 5. But that's fine. I really like this mission anyway. Nothing better than some nice jetboarding on a Saturday night. Oh, this feels like I could write a country song about that.
Go down to the honky-tonk on a Saturday night.
The only evidence thinks this country is stupidity and Olive Garden breadsticks. I love Olive Garden breadsticks.
Yeah. I liked the biscuits from what's it called? Red Lobster.
Oh yeah.
Those are good too.
Gotta love nothing better than a good biscuit.
That's why you gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly why the saying is there.
It's in place for this reason, to protect us.
Alright, instead of taking the pillars up, we can just hover up there, finish the ring challenge. We are on our way to the next one.
I heard. This is as we feared.
Nice and easy.
We must get into those catacombs before that ship reaches this planet.
Alright, so we gotta go to New Haven City, I think for the first time. Question mark? I don't think we've been here this run. Oh, hover dropped. Jack 3 moment. We're good. Gonna void out here to save like 30 seconds on the way to HQ. Yeah, HQ is in trouble, so we gotta do the dirty work and destroy everything, and hopefully find Terry in the process. Now, you might say, who's Terry? He's a myth. He's a big myth.
This is like birds aren't real?
Yeah, this is one of those situations.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, we can very clearly see them, but like only sometimes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are they really real?
How can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't?
So true.
Remember when Jaden Smith was the worst thing on Twitter? I do.
Most inspirational tweeter, Jaden Smith.
Hey, listen, he had energy.
He sure did. If there was one thing he had, it was energy.
Yeah, exactly. He was in that fucking movie with Will Smith where they crashed on Earth.
The city's lost.
Oh,
After Earth?
What that was called?
Maybe?
I saw it. But I certainly heard of the movie.
Yeah.
It was After Earth.
Welcome to Earth. He had, I don't know if he still does, because he kind of fucked up his money a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But Will Smith had a show on Disney which was called Welcome to Earth.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like a travel show.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how it works out though when you punch you punch Chris Rock. You slap Chris Rock, you know?
Right.
Like, Will, we love you. We love your energy, but we can't do the punch and the slapping, you know?
Right.
We're Mickey Mouse.
Nice shooting. Find your way back here, Jack.
Well, you can't slap the people, huh?
That is like, you sound like Mickey Mouse in like a suit, like a, you know how
yeah.
they got the Mickey Mouse at Disneyland.
Yeah, there you go. I'm corporate Mickey.
Yeah, corporate Mickey.
They're approaching my location. Let them come.
Alright, after successfully defending HQ of large machinery, it's time to do our last sewers mission. I love the sewers missions when they go well. But sadly we're gonna have to say goodbye to them after this one. But don't worry, this is a good one. We love sewers. Well, in Jack anyway. I don't really love the sewers in real life, but these are much cooler.
Mm-hmm.
But this works. Oh. Okay. Got zapped a few times, but it's fun.
I was gonna ask if that was a good yelp. I think it was.
Alright. After, get down there, Jack. Fun fact, if Jack gets stuck underwater for too long, he will drown. So, gotta get out of that water. Punch the door here.
The surprise is coming. The power room door is now open, Jack.
Jack does in fact drown. He is human. Well, somewhat human. Human-ish. And then the game is over. Roll credits. Alright, so we had Halo, right? We had Halo.
Yeah.
on!
Introducing Pac-Man. Another iconic series. That's right, this game has it all. You'll see we got one of the nasties chasing us.
It's looking
while
bad.
Vin anxiously tells us that we're gonna die every 10 seconds. Yeah, we just gotta clear all the dots.
No.
Probably. I can't really get around that.
It's looking bad.
I gotta maneuver this the best I can.
All right. I
Clear them
erased
all.
everything. The system defenses are down.
The popcorn, he spawns more dots, which is a very unfun mechanic. Completely random where he decides to spawn at. You just kind of have to deal with what you get. But it ended up being not too bad, I guess. Lag dropped my hover there. More commonly in the late game scenarios, we are very, very rapidly approaching here. There's an all-out war going on in the city, so it gets extremely laggy. And this game likes to deal with lag just by, instead of just like hard locking like Jak 2 would, it just slows down the game a ton, and the game just sort of takes less of your inputs. So it handles lag quite a bit differently. I mean, but still better than Jak 2. Like this game rarely hard locks, but I mean, it will. Just don't push it.
It's like, oh, you said I don't hard lock? Cracks knuckles, hold my beer.
Right. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. I probably jinxed it. Oh well.
It means we get to be here longer.
Yeah, hey, more time to raise 2K, right?
Right. And we're close. I mean, 75 doll hairs. It's pretty close.
I believe. Now we have to take down the War Factory defenses, so we can infiltrate, destroy, you know, just the buzzwords of Jak 3. Yeah. Now we're driving possibly probably one of the worst ships. This is a tough ship to control. Because if you hit anything, you're just like, you can't control it anymore. If something shoots you, it gets a lot harder to control. And these little targets that you gotta hit, the ship doesn't always do the best job of actually targeting what you need to hit, but they do a pretty good job there. I gotta give it to the game. Now I gotta destroy these 4 towers. Bombs. Pretty much done. That.
Easy every time.
Easy every time. And now we have War Factory, a several-minute long mission where we have to drive a little mini car. Actually, never mind. We're just gonna hover over everything and then hit the end trigger. And restart mission, and we're done. A several-minute long mission becomes 20 seconds with 1 hover. Woo. War Factory is actually really cool. It's actually a really sick mission. Too bad you don't get to see it. And now we head straight into the end of Act 2. Cyber Errol. The man who keeps coming back, he's like Michael Afton in FNAF. He doesn't go away. Actually, wait. Is that Michael Afton? Any FNAF lore knowing? I don't know.
Is FNAF Five Nights at Freddy's?
It is.
There you go.
Oh, is this guy gonna...
just got a $10 donation from Hitchhawk. So thank you for that.
Bless. Any, was it big head or small head toward either of those?
Didn't go towards either.
Okay. Must be a big head mode enjoyer.
Just happy to be here.
Love to see it. Love to see it. William Afton. That's what I meant to say. Thank you, Teach. Got him confused with his son.
Not this time.
Just $65 to go.
Very nice. This boss fight actually is a very, very neat skip that works like less than 10% of the time. There are 4 phases to this boss, and the things used to damage him, the little circular robots, you can get more than one to hit him at a time, which would skip a phase. Again, even if you do it right, it does not work like 90% of the time. But I'm gonna attempt it, and if I get it, awesome. If I don't, that's what we expected anyway. It isn't nice. The game says yes, and the game says yes. Right. Gotta set these up here. Need a second guy to come over.
I'm superior now.
Get it? No, only one hit. Unfortunate, but again, what we expect. Cool when it works. The fight just insta ends. But now we're just gonna do final phase here. Not a big deal. Also, you can just kind of sit in this little corner while he throws his bombs at you. In case you don't want to play the game, you can just do that. And also just taking everything out with a beam reflexor is just extremely broken weapon. Right, finish it up. And done. That is the end of Act 2. Act 3 is up next and is the final act and the shortest of 3. Now that Errol is dead, surely. Spoiler alert.
Jack,
he's
please
not.
help us. Errol's attacking
He's not
the
dead.
temple.
Never died.
He wants the secrets we have kept concerning the dark.
Goonies never say die.
Please hurry. The way he seeks, it could undo this world.
Now we gotta head to Seam. Seam is in trouble. Everyone just is in trouble, and we gotta save them. That's just we're just doing Jack things. Oh yeah, if you do the double hit on the final phase of Iroh, his health underflows. Kind of silly. Forgot that happened. Never actually done it on the final phase. Since there's really no need to, but. Anyway, this is one of the rare moments. This is more of like a Jack 2 thing where you kind of drive across Haven City to get to the next point. Not really a Jack 3 thing, but we have to do it here. Dude's flying off the overpass.
Our head is so big.
Oh, so big. So massive. You can tell the information in this guy is growing rapidly.
Yeah, Sigma grinds it.
To the desert we go. And we have to go all the way from the garage to the temple, which again is a several-minute trip, but with a restart warp, we can just restart warp into the temple. Kind of nice, kind of convenient. Gotta make sure I got full Dark Eco, because we will be using the Dark Blast a few times in this mission. It's a Dark Jack upgrade that we got after the Dark Eco Tanks mission. Or rather, this is the Dark Strike. Right. That's what this is called. Not the Dark Blast. I feel like there is something called the Dark Blast, though. Maybe I'm making it up. I don't know, I think I'm gaslighting myself. Scratch that all. It's the Dark Strike. Some scary placement of that guy. If you time it right, you can actually animation cancel the Dark Strike. Very nice, but I guess it doesn't work all the time. Even if you do get the timing right, it's a little weird. Ooh, some sus movement. I did not make it. Okay. a little off there. That's fine. We also just unlocked Light Jack Flight, which is pretty cool. It was the hover before the hover was found. Basically, there's a trick where you can do what's called infinite flight glitch. You can take out the Jack wings and fly to your heart's content. It was the hover before the hover.
Jack, we need you.
Oh, Dark Blast is the uppercut move. I destroyed the vehicle too fast. I see. Okay. So by destroying the vehicle, we get back to the garage, and then with this restart warp, we can go straight to the turret where we need to be for our next mission. A lot of fast travel here with the menu and destroying the car. Very nice. And now we will use our only city's defense, the only defense of the city, to take out Dark Maker machines. It's weird why they didn't make, you know, like several of these. They just made the one.
Well, don't go making sense.
There's not really much to this mission. You just kind of, there are 5 spots on each of these enemies. You gotta do 3 damage each of the spots, and then they blow up. The health bars are hard to see, but they're there. You just gotta maybe lean in a little and squint at them, but they're there. When I was playing this mission casually, fun fact, I think the first time I actually beat this game was in 2016. Not that long ago, because that's also the year I first speedran the game too. But I didn't know there were health bars, so I was just kind of shooting at them. And then one got really close, and I was like, oh.
Those pesky health bars.
Oh, I get it. This guy's the last guy before it swaps over. The final 3 dudes. And you can see they kind of shoot these like balls at you, but I don't really like defend myself that much. You just kind of tank all of it and be fine. Yeah, this turret has so much health. As long as you take out the dudes quickly, you know, it should be somewhat quickly. I'm going at a somewhat quick pace right now.
Only one more machine left.
Good enough. Should be. Josh, you're literally about to die. It's fine. See? For defending the entire city, we get best armor. They've run out of things to offer me at this point. They're just handing me anything they can find.
It just sounds like it's gonna chafe. Our nipples are gonna itch.
Yeah. Better yet, you guys can keep the chest armor.
My nipples!
I'd be worried about my nipples throughout the whole thing. Throughout the rest of the game.
Just screaming, nipple! How much of the run is left?
I would say we've got about 25-ish minutes.
Wow. All right. So, you heard him. $65, 25 minutes.
We can do it.
There are 46 people watching this stream right now. I believe in you.
Got this. For the
You can do it.
Next up, we got the Astro Viewer mission. This one's a little silly. If you do this one fast, if you get in and out, it's not that bad. But the longer you stay in this level, the more difficult I find that it gets. But be in and out. You'll see very quickly here why that's the case. There are these enemies here who get on the turret, and if he turns around and shoots you, that's kind of your demise. So you gotta kill him before. Oh my god, I can't see the health bars on the things that I'm shooting because Jack's head is in the way. Oh my god, I've never had this problem before. That is so new. You're supposed to shoot these starmy looking things. I guess they're sort of the spawners of the Dark Maker enemies here. You just can barely see their health bars. That's so funny. Make sure he doesn't get on that turret.
Well, Small is winning again.
Oh?
We just got a $25 donation from Anonymous.
Consider it done.
So there you go. It works out for you.
Woo! I can see the health bars again.
And now we're within $40.
Oh.
Let's go. I already donated my $10. I'm only gonna donate 5 more. Hitchhawk. Thank you.
Based Hitchhawk.
I'm linked to the Darkmaker ship.
We just got another $5 from Hitchhawk.
Holy moly.
For gaming again. And that went towards Beeg. Let's see if Beeg is winning. I don't know. Beeg is $4 away.
Oh.
From winning.
Oh, from winning. Okay.
Yeah. So if you want Beeg, if you're out there and you're Beeg man, $5 puts you back in the lead. We are $35 away.
So close. Well, now we're in a Titan suit. You might remember this suit from Jak 2. I mean, it's not supposed to be the same suit, but it's the same suit. Let's be real here. It moves the exact same. It's just shaded a different color, I think. It's the same thing. But yeah, we get to do things, destroy alien things. I don't actually know what's going on in this part of the mission. This is too far in the game for me to remember. I haven't gotten this far yet, guys.
Really quick, while you think about all the things that you haven't gotten that far, we got another donation from Aaron the Great, 5-Head Jack. Now, Big Head Jack is back in the lead.
Holy.
And we are $15 away from 2K. Come on. We can do it. We can do it.
Big head believers.
We have never hit 2K at the end of day 2. We can do it.
I believe.
I believe.
We are rapidly approaching the end of the run, gamers.
It's true. Like 20 minutes or so, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think I've done hosting for every run that you've done at SDAT.
I think so.
Because we were on that really fucked SpongeBob run that you did.
Yeah. Yes.
The internet that day was not cooperating for us.
Yeah.
That was really funny.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
It was the first and only time I ran SpongeBob at a marathon. Good.
It was a good time. Yo, that is such a big head.
Big.
Big.
The big head believers are back in black. Let's do it.
So if you are a small head truther, hang on, I'll tell you. It's not updating.
Pause, champ.
Pause, champ. Aaron the Great put 5-Head Jack, but then didn't vote for Big Head. He voted for gnocchi.
Wait, what?
The best type of pasta is gnocchi. All right, so we're going back to Small Head Jack. We've had some big head bullshit.
All right, small head it is.
Small Head is still in the lead by $4. Gnocchi.
I do love me some gnocchi.
I was like, wait a minute, this isn't right.
He's so real for that. Just like me for real.
You know what's so crazy about this run? We're not even talking about what this is.
Yeah, right. So that zoomer that I got onto spawned slightly out of bounds. So if I just back up, I can just get increasingly more out of bounds and then hit the death warp that leads to New Haven City, which is where I am now. Kind of convenience.
Sort of.
Sort of. Now that I explained that, we're about to reach possibly this. Well, no, okay, this is the second worst mission in the game, in my opinion. We're heading to Universal Studios for our ride. Yay! One, hold on tight. This really isn't that interesting of a mission. Honestly, CJ, if you have anything you'd like to say, I mean anything at all, really, that would be fantastic.
That's a good question. Do I have anything that I want to say? Well, I'm always blown away by how generous people are this time of the year. SDAT is very special, and this always the thing that touches me is that runners say that it has such a different vibe from other marathons, and I really appreciate that. You know, we do our best to keep the vibes right. You know, keep it unique. Thank you. High praise. And yeah, no, I'm glad that we've met so many people over the years that just want to help us raise money for the kids, you know? So that's what it's about. It's about the kids. So we'll get those donations in. You know, like and not to discredit any problems that you may have in your life or things that are relevant to you, the audience. But I know that whenever I'm like kind of down about something, that's like one of the things I do to put it in perspective is I read some of these stories, and Fatun is a young girl who is 12, and she lost her arm and her eye to a landmine, in which 1 in 5 child injuries right now in the DRC are landmine accidents, and they're children. So, you know, she cannot afford a prosthetic arm, so she uses a mannequin arm. It's very sad. But Save the Children made sure that her and her father never had to pay for medical care, and that they got the best care possible. And just as I was finishing that up, the total changed. We got one more donation for $15 from the Packle. Yeah. To put us over 2K, easy peasy. Thank you so much, Packle. Let's go. The Packle. Yeah, dude.
2K by day 2.
Also, by the way, Beeg is now winning.
Beeg in the lead?
Beeg in lead.
Make it happen.
So that is, we have never hit 2K at the end of day 2 before. Not at SDAT. So,
huge.
Great. Historic.
Iconic, even.
Iconic. You have, you know, whenever you show up, we have historic fundraising things, you know?
You know, I'm just glad to hopefully be a catalyst to make things happen, you know?
Well, listen, you definitely were a catalyst. You hit the people at the end of SDAT 2021 with "If you have ever loved me," and then we raised $1,000 in an hour.
Oh, man. Love to see it.
You do love to see it. This, you really weren't kidding. This is really fucking Universal Studios.
No, I'm telling you, like, this is actually, like, I could see this.
I talked about fucking Fatun, dude. You know how long Fatun gives us like 2 minutes.
Yeah, this mission, you want to take a guess on how long it is?
At least 4 minutes.
That is true. It is 6.
Jesus.
Pretty much on the dot. 6 minutes of this.
So it's just this.
Of just shooting robots and not really going anywhere. Also, Torn made a wrong turn back there. That costed like 2 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it's rough.
Oh my god.
Now he's just messing around at this point. He's just freestyling. So, yeah. We're here for another like minute or so. Oh, that.
Yeah. So there you go. Whenever I'm down, whenever I'm thinking about like things that are like inconsequential in the grand scheme of like life, like a work problem, something like that, I always try to put stuff like that in perspective. Or a story that I read last year, which I found heartbreaking, was that there's a Middle Eastern village that during before COVID, they were so remote that what they would do is they would pay a European country to deliver them a truck of water, but during COVID, they wouldn't do it.
Oh.
They wouldn't drive the truck out. And the only well was 7 miles away, and it had been poisoned by, let's say, a fundamentalist group. But because it was the only source of water, the kids still drank it, even though it made them sick. And Save the Children bought them a water truck.
Yeah.
So things like that, you know? It's like, what is the most human thing you can do in this situation? Give them a fucking water truck.
Yeah.
Right? It sucks that they have to rely on another country to give them the water, but now at least they can go get it.
Right.
You know? So there's just a ton of stories like that are like, what is the most like human thing? What is the most human solution you can offer these people? That, you know, they have to drink poisoned water. It's like, okay, give them water. Give them a way to get water.
Yeah. So we're out of the 6-minute hell mission and into another hell mission, but for a different reason. This mission has not really worked. This mission does some funny stuff, like dropped hovers, which just happened to me about 20 seconds ago. Hopefully this hover doesn't drop. It looks good. It's just due to lag, they just sometimes just go away. Looks like we're good. And another problem this mission has is enemies just not spawning, which are, you know, integral to actually completing the mission, is killing these enemies. Oh, lots of lag there, holy moly. Okay, looks like the guys are spawning, so everything should be fine. Just gotta take out this horde of enemies with the gyro burster, which I think we just got pretty recently. We've actually unlocked all 12 guns. Guns I haven't really mentioned. Again, the gyro burster, which I was just using, that little circular machine gun thingamajig. We've got the mass inverter, which just lifts all the enemies into the air. Definitely a peaceful way of getting around enemies, because it doesn't kill them, it just lifts them gently into the air, and then they eventually fall. But we're not liable for what happens when they fall. And then we have the supernova, which is a nuke. It takes out everything on screen. That's it. The screen goes white and everything is gone afterwards. So we're gonna do this little death warp here, which, okay, that one didn't work. That was a little funny. I'm gonna die in the right spot here. The end game for Jak 3 is a lot of things go wrong. Oh, due to lag and things not working like that. Let's try this again. Third time's the charm. Notice I don't really do anything different, but that one worked. Sure. And now we're on to Palace Ruins, the 4th to last mission? Question mark? Maybe 5th to last.
What isn't there a mission where we have to ride in the cars with our dad?
Yes. And what I just did right there is gonna pretty much skip all of that. It's a weird story. So I activated a side mission there, and then let's hover first. I activated a side mission, and then I just went to Palace Ruins while the timer was still going. This is gonna break BTR, which is the mission you're talking about, completely. I'm gonna enter that mission, and instead of driving the car with my dad, I'm going to be on a jetboard instead. As long as I can stay alive, this happens. If I die even once, then that side mission storage is gone. So let's not die.
Do we get to see our dad die?
Let's see if the. I wonder if the cutscene will actually work.
Where have you been?
It's a real Yondu moment.
Times already, just waiting for you. Onin says we must get through the palace ruins, but I think.
Big Chungus.
Jack, what did you say before it's all over? Riding on your shoulder, although it is kind of bony.
His head is so just comically massive.
You've been a good pal.
You too, Dax. These adventures.
And yet, Daxter is still pretty big compared to him. Well, I guess
Someone called for an army. But you're a long way from the desert.
Okay, so this is this is the cutscene before the death. Okay, never mind. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and skip that one. So we're supposed to be in the car with our father here, but yeah, because of the side mission storage earlier, we have completely broken this mission entirely. So we're just on the jet board instead. Which means we're gonna fly over a lot of stuff with the jet board instead of, you know, driving the course.
Use turbo to break obstacles.
Yeah.
You're becoming more like your father. Use the brakes. You're supposed to get through.
Do a little restart warp here. To get us further along into BTR. We can only use this once, fun fact. If we use it twice, then the mission becomes normal again.
Dark precursors.
Okay. Hover over all this. Bada boom, bada bang. Fly to the end. Hope lag doesn't drop the hover. It did, but that's fine. See that? And bang, we're at the end of BTR. Driving in the car that we, quote unquote, drove in.
Camels! Not bad driving.
Father! No!
And a good day to die. I'm very proud to have been by your side in the end. This world is not yet
Can
out.
you skip? My cats haven't gotten to this part of the game.
My dog's got a toothache.
One thing. Promise me you'll find my son.
Shield your cat's eyes.
You'll know him when you see this. He's wearing an amulet just like it. A symbol of our lineage with the great House of Mar.
No.
Save the people, Jack. They need you.
Father, no.
No! No!
Father. Yes, you were that child.
And then we have Count Vigor, which honestly,
to harness your eco powers for my
kind of a meh villain. I'm not even gonna watch what he says. He's so unimportant.
Yeah, he's pretty like meh across the board. His like he's just a bureaucrat. I don't even really know what he has like such a stupid motivation.
Yeah.
But his punishment's also like really funny.
His punishment's great. I'm very sure. I mean, again, I'm gonna spoil this because it's a 19-year game. But yeah, he becomes an Otzel. Vigor becomes an Otzel and has to be like Cleaver's sidekick, like Daxter is to Jack. But it's funny because in Jak X, Vigor is nowhere to be found, but Cleaver's there. So, pretty sure Cleaver ate Vigor. Like, I'm fairly sure of this because he wanted to eat Daxter at the beginning of Jak 3. I'm fairly sure he just ate Vigor. Like, straight up.
Yeah, he gave the old he gave the old guy a try, and he was like, you know what, Viger, you're just not the same as Dax, and we're just gonna have to go our separate ways. So are we close to the end here? I think this is
very close. Game. Yeah, we got like this is the third to last mission. This is Dark Ship. Definitely not how you're supposed to be doing this mission, but we're basically hovering to the end of it. Gotta stay close to this elevator to load the rest of the mission here. Do this hover. And this hover gets straight to the end. Just done and done. Starship, normally they give you like 5 minutes to do this mission or something. Yeah, that is not needed. Alright, now this is considered all this is the final boss territory. We gotta take out the 14 legs of Terraformer here. And there's a specific cycle to this. I'm going to be attempting what's called fast cycle. The fast cycle you can get without infinite boosts. There's a cycle called hero mode cycle, which you can make with infinite boosts, but we don't have that, so it's not possible. Doing good so far. This is the hardest part of it here. Think through this without getting bombed a bunch. Getting that. That's very nice. Very good. This one. Bang. Gorgeous Terraformer. Their textbook. And now the final boss. Which you'll see here it gets a little repetitive. This is for sure one of, I would say it's one of the more boring final bosses of the game. Very lackluster. But I think the speech strats are pretty cool. Come to appreciate how intricate final boss actually is. Basically, you just want to kill everything as fast as possible in the first phase. Do the gyro burst at the beginning and then spam your needle laser. Kind of fricked up there. I was supposed to use the mass inverter to take out that spinny dude. It's okay, that mass inverter will take out the next one. And then we just knock these guys off the side until they start shooting lasers. By the way, this is just Errol again, just in this machine. Because again, he never dies. I'm fairly certain that after Jack 3 is done, he still isn't dead. But he's back. What else is there?
Jack 4, Errol's Revenge.
That's like the one thing I wish just wouldn't happen for a Jack 4. I don't want Errol to be in it. Please, just let him die. Please. He's supposed to have died 3 times in this series already. Like, let him rest. You know? Use beam reflexor, take these out again. Phase 2 is the exact same as phase 3. Literally just knocking these guys off the side with beam reflexor. Again, once you start shooting lasers, I can chill. And I use the lightning gun here to basically get as many drops as possible. I'm getting zapped pretty hard here. My health is a little low. Gotta be careful. But yeah, this gets like, using the lightning gun on the enemies gets you like max drops and everything. Basically guaranteed I'm not gonna get off the side and lose ammo. I'm actually get this light eco in case. Just in case I need a light jack heal myself. Oh, I actually didn't do that. Check. So there's a set amount of lasers in this last phase that he shoots, but if you kill the enemies fast enough, okay, I'm gonna not be stupid here and light jack kill. I'm about one shot away from being dead. But if you kill the guys fast enough, you can actually skip a laser. Have like no ammo at all. So I think light jack kill is just the right play. All right. So after this hit here should be GG. About 3, 2, 1. Now.
GG. Wow, a 244.46.
Very nice. Very nice.
Massive jackhead.
Big head jack wins. Prevails this time. And
he looks so derpy.
Yeah.
Big head. Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back. Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, there you go. Walking away from the explosion.
As cool guys do.
Yeah. Do you have any shout outs you want to make before we get you out of here?
Well, shout outs. My girlfriend, who I know is watching, I saw her name in the chat. Shout outs my brother who donated earlier, Kaibo G. Shout outs to the Jack community for always showing up to these things and
Thank you,
just being here. Thanks for everybody for being here.
Samos and all.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you to everybody for helping us get to 2,000 day 2 record. Give yourselves a hand. That was pretty good. Really great. So we are going to go back to intermission before we wrap up for the day. We're going to take one last pause. We're going to pay some bills to keep the lights on, and then we're going to raid somebody and spread the love. So don't go anywhere.
But dude,
we're gonna get you out of here soon.
Way more challenges in the future.
All right, folks, it's time. It's been a great day today. We are going to go share the love. We're going to go raid Popcorn Parfait, who was in the event earlier today. She's doing Chameleon Twist 2. So if you enjoyed Chameleon Twist 2 run familiar, you're going to like what Popcorn Parfait is doing. So we're gonna make the raid message day 2 2K